Traditional IRAs can be a great complement to your retirement plan as long as you know what they are and how they can be of benefit to you. In this video, we're going to be talking about what a traditional IRA is, the pros and cons, and where you can find one to get started. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. Now, if you truly want to live payment free for the rest of your life, obviously investing is something that you'll want to pay attention to. Now, I want to add a disclaimer to this video that I am not a financial advisor or a CFP, so please use this video as an educational video, and we're going to be diving right into traditional IRAs. So what the heck are they? Now, I love this definition from Investopedia.com. A traditional IRA, which stands for individual retirement accounts, allow individuals to contribute pre-tax dollars to a retirement account where investments grow tax deferred until withdrawal during retirement. Now, traditional IRAs operate much like a 401k in that sense. You are putting away those dollars into a traditional IRA, which is an investment vehicle, right? You have your traditional IRA, and inside of that IRA, you can select exactly what type of funds, whether they be index funds, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, inside of that traditional IRA. All of that growth grows tax deferred until you withdraw during retirement. In 2022, the max contribution limit towards a traditional IRA is $6,000. Now, a big note that I want to mention here, that if you have a Roth IRA, and I have a whole video explaining what Roth IRAs I will link to up here in the cards, and a traditional IRA, your max contribution limit for the year is still $6,000. You can split it among the two accounts that you have. You can go all in with one, but you cannot contribute $6K to the traditional and $6K to the Roth. It has to be $6K across the board. Now, when you retire, the withdrawals that you make from a traditional IRA are taxed according to the taxpayer's income tax bracket. Capital gains tax or taxes on dividends are not assessed. So that also can be an attractive feature of the traditional IRA. So who is eligible for a traditional IRA? Anyone who has earned income can open a traditional IRA. Unlike a Roth IRA that has income limitations associated with those accounts, no matter how much you make, how much you earn, you can open a traditional IRA. Even if you already have a 401k plan with your employer, you can still open one. Let's talk about some of the benefits of a traditional IRA. The first one being you may be able to take a deduction based off of the traditional IRA contributions you've made within the year on your federal tax return. Now, there are a couple of things that you'll want to pay attention to. If you have a retirement plan at work, your deduction amount may be limited if you are contributing to that employer retirement plan, and it may be based on some income limitations as well. If you don't have a retirement plan at work, you can take the full deduction amount on your tax return for those traditional IRA contributions. And contributions are not taxed up front, giving your money every opportunity to grow as much as possible over time until you hit that retirement period and you're withdrawing from the account. If you have an old 401k laying around, you can actually roll over your old 401k into a traditional IRA. They're typically called rollover IRAs, but they operate in the same sense, so you won't incur any penalties. If you need help locating and rolling over an old 401k, definitely check out my friends at Capitalize. They help people do this for free, and it's such an awesome platform. I will link to that in the description box below. And another perk here too is that you can actually transfer and roll over your traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. There are a couple of benefits in doing that. I won't get into that in this video, but if you want to see a video on the benefits of doing a rollover, be sure to comment below. Okay, let's talk about the disadvantages or the cons of a traditional IRA. First, I think the biggest one here is it limits how much you can contribute. A $6,000 per year max contribution is not a lot when you can compare it to how much you can contribute with a 401k. So I'd really encourage you to really max out that 401k as much as possible, and then use vehicles like a traditional IRA to help boost that retirement account. After age 72, you are required to withdraw from your traditional IRA. These are called required minimum distributions. These are set by the government because the government does not want you keeping your money in these types of accounts and it's tax deferred. They want their tax dollars now, and they said, okay, we'll give you until you turn 72, and when you're 72, we want our money. We want our cut of what you've been able to earn in that account. So there are some ways that you can kind of minimize those RMDs, because those can bite you in the butt later on. I can also do a video on that if you want, but just be aware of that. If you take any withdrawals before the age of 59 and a half, you will incur a 10% penalty on that money. That's pretty much the same as if you were to do that with a Roth IRA or a 401k. And lastly, if you anticipate having a really high income tax bracket during retirement, keep that in mind, because your money in a traditional IRA will be taxed at that income tax bracket when you go to withdraw from it. So why would you want to open a traditional IRA? You may be interested in opening a traditional IRA because you've already maxed out your 401k and you're looking at other investment vehicles to really help grow your retirement account balance. You also want more flexibility and ownership over the types of funds that you want to invest in for your retirement. And if you are limited on those types of funds inside of your current 401k, then a traditional IRA of your choosing looks really attractive. All right, where can you open a traditional IRA? Any investing firm or brokerage company typically has this as an option for you. Now, I personally use Vanguard because I really like using low-cost index funds, and I find that their expenses and their fees are just extremely minimal, and I love it. My traditional IRA is actually a rollover IRA. When I had an old 401k from my corporate days, I just opened up a Vanguard traditional IRA and then had them help me with that rollover and transfer process. Once I got the funds into that traditional IRA, I could choose the funds that I wanted to invest in. Now, I currently invest in 3 different types of index funds inside of my traditional IRA. That includes the Vanguard 500 Index Fund, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, and I also have a Vanguard Target Retirement Fund of 2055, the year 2055. Those are the only 3 funds that I have inside of that account, and it really helps keep it simple for me. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so definitely do your research and talk to a professional if you want advice on how to move things around. I find that traditional IRAs are a really good complement to some of the other retirement vehicles that I have going on, especially if you have a 401k, you've maxed that out, you're looking for other options, this one could be right for you. And what's your experience with using one? Let us know in the comments if you thought this video was helpful in explaining what a traditional IRA is. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more investing series videos like this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.